Why does the world's richest man, Elon Musk, live like he's poor? He doesn't even own property, the dream asset that everyone, regardless of wealth, wishes to have for peace of mind and a sense of achievement.
Up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
Imagine being a billionaire. Like those you see on TV, you might want to own properties around the globe. Planning to spend summer in the Hamptons? Buy a mansion there. Skiing in the Alps this winter? Splurge on a chalet. But not Elon Musk. He has gotten rid of most of his expensive possessions.
You're selling your houses, you say you don't want any material possessions, and I've been seeing all that, and I've been really excited to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting thing to come from a guy like yourself. Like, why are you doing that?
So stick around to find out why Elon Musk doesn't fit the typical billionaire mold. But first, let's quickly explore the environment that shaped him to acquire massive wealth, then disregard it in favor of a simpler life. Chapter 1. Bullied to founder. Born in South Africa in 1971, Elon Musk had a rough and abusive childhood. He was constantly bullied at school, not just with verbal insults because he was on the nerdy side, but with actual punches in the face to the point of needing surgery.
I do know that you were bullied at school and had a difficult...
I was almost beaten to death, if you'd call that bullied.
And they had the intention to beat him to death. My brother's face was unrecognizable. It just wasn't, it was just a swollen lumps.
On top of that, he faced emotional abuse from his father.
I wanted to ask you briefly about your dad.
I mean, we lived in torture. It was a emotional, psychological torture.
Because he would make you stand there for 2 to 3 hours
Yeah,
and
like
just
literally,
scream
like
at you.
it was insane.
Getting knocked about was pretty normal. I mean, if you did well at school, they would wait for you at the exit of the school and pommel you with their bags. So, I mean, if you call that bullying, we had a lot of that.
These experiences, along with the constant threat of violence in South Africa at the time, gave him the ability to resist fear and take risks more than the average person. Contrary to popular belief, Elon Musk did not grow up with a silver spoon. He wasn't poor, but he wasn't super rich either. When he was 8 years old, his parents split up. His mother, May, faced financial challenges while supporting the kids.
He would be punching me, and Elon would be between the seats hitting his father to stop him punching me. When he would be at home and punching me, Kimball and Tosca would be crying in the corner because they were really babies. Elon was 5, Kimball 4, Tosca 3. Elon would be hitting his dad at the back of his legs. And then when he was 8, we left.
However, Elon still had access to education and resources that would facilitate his later success. When he went to America to further his studies, he had $4,000 total, $2,000 from his father, who, although he provided some financial support, predicted that Elon would fail in America and would need to come back, hoping he would remain dependent on him. The other $2,000 came from his mother, who worked relentlessly, often clocking in 7 days a week and pulling all-nighters to support her family. It's 1995. Elon enrolls in a PhD program in applied physics at Stanford University. After 2 days, he leaves the program to start exploring various internet ventures and lay the foundation for his first company, Zip2. In 1996, with his brother Kimball, Elon officially found Zip2 Corporation. Financial struggles follow. The brothers are strapped for cash. They can only afford one computer and a small office space that also serves as their home. Their shower, the nearby YMCA. Their website was up during the day, and Elon was coding at night, every night, 7 days a week.
Well, that was the summer of '95. I had no money whatsoever. I was working, doing research in Silicon Valley on a completely different subject and trying to start this company at the same time. And when it came time to decide, do I want to do graduate studies or do I want to start this company? And I decided to start the company. I had no money. As a graduate student, I would have received a scholarship and a stipend and so forth. In starting the company, I had nothing. I had no income source. So we found that an office was actually cheaper than an apartment in Silicon Valley. So we got this dinky little office that had a leaky roof. It was just the nastiest place you can imagine.
And you lived in it too?
And I lived in it too and showered at the YMCA.
But it's not all gloom and doom. Persistent effort on the right things leads to success. 3 years later, Zip2 is sold to Compaq for $307 million, and Elon gets $22 million of the pie. Getting some financial relief from his initial success, Elon splurged a little. He bought a house for $1.7 million to settle in Silicon Valley and spent $1 million on a McLaren F1. Life can't be all work and no play, can it? But a huge chunk of the remaining cash, he used to start X.com. Not the X.com as you know it today, but the original X.com that got rebranded to PayPal. In 2002, PayPal was sold to eBay, and Elon got a nice check of $165 million. If he'd stopped working at the time and invested, let's say he still had around $10 million from the sales of Zip2, so a total of $175 million invested in a low-index fund like VOO. And if he drew $1 million per year to live off, that's right, you heard right, $1 million per year, he could potentially live for many more than 175 years before running out of money, especially considering an average annual growth rate of 8%. So you would think he would choose that path and sip pina coladas all day long on a beach in Bora Bora. But no, other than his initial property and F1 car splurge, he lived frugally and put his resources in business building as opposed to buying all the fancy things. Of the $175 million that he had, he put $6.5 million into starting Tesla and $100 million in SpaceX.
News in-depth coverage now on the growing financial crisis.
2008, the global financial crisis hit. Both Tesla and SpaceX were close to bankruptcy, and Elon was also going through a divorce. Out of desperation to save both of his brainchildren, he put all of his remaining wealth into the two companies and had to ask friends for help with rent. Elon Musk, once a millionaire, returned to a bootstrapping lifestyle, often couch surfing at friends' houses or sleeping under his desk at the SpaceX office. But through sheer determination, hard work, and a bit of luck, both companies pulled through. By 2010, SpaceX had successfully launched Falcon 1 and secured a contract with NASA for a cargo resupply mission, while Tesla went public. Throughout this time, Elon chose to live frugally, prioritizing his company's long-term objectives over the temptation of short-term gratification and the luxury of a carefree, wealthy lifestyle. Chapter 2: How to Become a Billionaire. The Invest and Build Flywheel. As the companies grew in value, so did Elon's net worth through his stock options. In 2020, Elon Musk broke into the list of the world's top 5 wealthiest individuals for the first time, thanks to the soaring stock price of Tesla. What fueled this growth? End consumers were buying his cars, finding them useful and valuable. His wealth grew in proportion to the value he was providing to his fellow humans. Elon believes that every individual on Earth should try to be useful, saying that everyone should try to produce instead of consuming. He doesn't buy into the consumerist attitude prevalent in modern society. He's held this mindset and philosophy since a young age. Over the course of his university years while interning at a game company, he solved a problem that full-time engineers had struggled with for months in just 2 weeks. He realized he loved video games and had a knack for creating and selling them. They offered him a position at the game company, but he turned it down, saying it wasn't the best way to spend his time. He already wanted to make a bigger impact on humanity. That's why he invests his wealth and time into building companies rather than splurging. He views wealth as a means to an end rather than an end in itself, emphasizing impactful contributions over personal gains.
You, like I mentioned with SpaceX, you give a lot of people hope, and a lot of people look up to you. Millions of people look up to you. If we think about young people in high school, maybe in college, what advice would you give to them about if they want to try to do something big in this world, they want to really have a big positive impact, what advice would you give them about their career, maybe about life in general?
Try to be useful. Do things that are useful to your fellow human beings, to the world. It's very hard to be useful. Very hard. Are you contributing more than you consume. Can you try to have a positive net contribution to society? I think that's the thing to aim for. Not to try to be sort of a leader for the sake of being a leader or whatever. A lot of the time, the people you want as leaders are the people who don't want to be leaders. So, if you can live a useful life, that is a good life. A life worth having lived.
His commitment to innovation also requires significant resources. By living humbly and maintaining a modest lifestyle, he can allocate more funds toward research and development. This strategy allows him to stay at the forefront of technological advancement, which often keeps him ahead of competitors. With this invest, build, reinvest flywheel, he's expanded his portfolio of companies and currently heads Tesla Inc., which includes Solar City as part of Tesla Energy, SpaceX, X Corp, formerly known as Twitter, Neuralink, which has successfully performed a brain chip transplant, allowing a paraplegic to navigate his computer with thoughts alone, The Boring Company, and XAI. Being a builder, Elon has a negative view of individuals like Warren Buffett, who practice capital allocation for its own sake. He believes they're not providing any great value to humanity and thinks it would be more useful for them to reflect on and determine how to solve problems that could advance humanity instead. He feels similarly about bankers and lawyers, often asserting that they do not contribute significantly to society and that their high intelligence is wasted in these fields.
In the United States especially, there's an overallocation of talent in finance and law. Basically, too many smart people go into finance and law. This is both a compliment and a criticism. We should have, I think, fewer people doing law and fewer people doing finance and more people making stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would certainly be better for all involved if they made better stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, somebody's got to do the real work.
Yeah.
Like making a car, it's an honest day's living, that's for sure. Or making anything really, or providing a valuable service, like providing, good entertainment, good information. These are all valuable things to do. It should be more of it.
You would think that making it to the world's top 5 wealthiest would make Elon buy more beautiful homes. But no, that same year he sold all his properties in California, claiming he did not want to own a house anymore, further illustrating his commitment to a lifestyle that prioritizes impact over wealth. Living simply allows him to focus more on his mission of adding value to society without the distractions of an extravagant lifestyle weighing him down. Owning less also promotes a more sustainable living situation and reduces damage to the planet, aligning with his strong beliefs in sustainability. After all, 2 of his companies, Tesla and Tesla Energy, formerly Solar City, are on a mission to make better use of renewable, sustainable energy sources.
I think possessions kind of weigh you down.
So you're gonna rent a place?
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I mean, be fine.
Yeah, you could always buy more stuff if you don't like it.
Like what's more important, Mars or a house? I like Mars. Okay.
When it comes to clothing, Elon prefers the engineer look, often opting for simple clothing like jeans and a t-shirt instead of 3-piece suits commonly seen in movies portraying wealthy business moguls. This simple style reflects his down-to-earth personality. He has no filters when it comes to expressing himself and prioritizes function over fashion. This choice makes it easier for the fleet of engineers he directly works with to relate to him and have technical conversations without pretense.
Like what you have achieved over the past year is nothing short of incredible.
As opposed to creating a bureaucratic atmosphere where he might be seen as an overlord applying command and control to his subordinates.
That's why I prefer.
Now you might think that a guy who oversees so many companies, reinvesting his wealth into building them instead of buying things, and dressing simply would have what we call a work-life balance to give him time to reflect on his choices. But that's not the case. He does his thinking while working 24/7. Elon believes that every minute away from work is a missed chance to contribute to humanity. His philosophy: success comes from relentless effort, especially if you're building a company. He's known to work 7 days a week and usually only takes 1 or 2 days off the entire year. When Mark Andreessen heard Elon was going through a rough patch, he suggested using his holiday house to take a break. Elon's response was a simple one-liner: "I don't take vacations."
I once offered him a place where I thought he might want to take. I was like, I know you're under a lot of pressure. You go to this place for a week if you want, because he famously doesn't own any houses. He sold all his houses. He doesn't own any houses, so he stays at friends' houses. So I was like, you can go use my house for a week, and if you need a vacation, you go use my house for a week. I got back 5 minutes later, one line: "I don't take vacations." It's like I'm gonna frame and bronze that email, right?
Chapter 3: The Elon Mindset: How to be rich while looking poor. So, how is Elon so rich while looking like the average Joe if you were to walk past him on the street? He embraces risk-taking, makes bold decisions, and likes to take calculated risks in business and in life. He's always mentioning probabilities of failure. By living simply, he adopts a mindset that encourages risk-taking without the fear of losing material wealth. And that's how he became the wealthiest person. He just kept reinvesting his surplus wealth into building companies while living frugally. But what's the point? The reason Elon Musk, the current wealthiest person according to the 2024 Bloomberg Billionaire Index, believes in allocating his resources to something useful for humanity is that he has the grand vision and goal of making human civilization multi-planetary. Why? Because conscious life is rare in the universe, and having only one habitable planet increases the chance of it dying out at some point, whether by natural disaster like the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, or by human disaster like World War III. He found his passion for innovation and kept pushing through. Regarding his housing situation, he now resides in a small house near SpaceX headquarters at a total cost of, wait for it, $50,000, which he rents from SpaceX. All these choices about not wasting money and embracing a simple lifestyle allow him to focus on one thing: how to create businesses that advance humanity instead of lining up in front of Gucci stores to get the latest merch. If he makes it to Mars, he expects he'll need to live a minimalist lifestyle anyway, so he's better off getting used to it. And that, my friend, is how you become the wealthiest person in the world while looking poor. Chapter 4: How can you do the same? How can you reach success while maintaining a minimalist lifestyle? How can you live a better life by pursuing a meaningful goal and along the way make enough to enjoy comfortable living? Start by figuring out what you're truly passionate about. Try a bunch of different things that pique your interest and make sure you give each a fair shot before moving on when things get tough. Sometimes breaking through the hardship is necessary to see if you really love something. No matter what you choose, there will be challenges along the way. Keep in mind that if you want to grow wealth, you'll need to understand the difference between owning assets like a business, working a 9-to-5 job, and wisely investing your money instead of wasting it on unnecessary things. Embrace minimalism in your life. Don't buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like. Think twice before making a purchase you believe will bring you happiness. After 2 weeks of owning that fancy car, hedonic adaptation will kick in, and you might find the car doesn't feel as special anymore. Meanwhile, the costs of maintenance and service will continue to drain your wallet. If, like Elon, you travel a lot or are working on sensitive material from your laptop, you might want to leverage a VPN like NordVPN. With NordVPN, you'll be able to access services specific to your country while overseas. Not only that, but using a VPN gives you a higher level of privacy than you would without it. For great deals with NordVPN, use the link in this video's description. If you like this video, you're going to love the one on screen selected just for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.